This is the fundamentals of mastering desire. So you clearly want sensational sex. You want sex that is so delicious and palpable and fulfilling and just magical through every cell of your body, where you fall asleep completely exhausted and fulfilled. And you want epic love and deep connected intimacy, where you know that you are seen and heard and understood, and you see and hear and understand somebody else, that you know this is your person and they got you and you got them. You want relationships that are absolutely hashtag relationship goals, that are dreamy and delicious and totally fulfilling. Yeah? Yes. So there are three fundamental elements that you get to master in order to have all of that, in order for the sex to be amazing and the relationship to be kicking. Okay. And I'm going to lay it out for you right here, right now, because when you master these three elements for yourself, you're going to connect deeper and easier. You're going to love thoroughly and easily, and pleasure is absolutely going to be your best friend, and you will have so much freedom inside your body, in your heart, and in your relationship, that you will absolutely believe and live the vision that you want, having what you want. So there are a bunch of moving parts to intimacy and relationship, but over the course of the last 15 years, I have discovered, I've figured out, I have trialed and errored my way through understanding how our bodies and our hearts and our minds work together and how we can express ourselves. So there's three fundamentals. I think most things in sex and relationships can be boiled down to these three things. I'm going to share it here with you right now. So the first part, the first part is all about what you want. It's your vision. It's your desire. What do you really want? What do you want in this moment of your life? What do you want in the future, in the next 5 years? Desire is often thought of as something that is out there or is only temporary. It only happens in this moment in time. And yet, if you have a vision for what you really want in life, you're going to look farther ahead than just this temporary moment. Okay, so what you want is, yes, this temporary moment, how you want to be touched in this moment, how you want to be spoken to in this moment, what you want to hear or see or feel or think or taste in this moment. Yes, but also, what kind of relationship do you want to have? What kind of sexual life do you want to have? What do you want to experience in your most intimate moments with yourself or with another person? What do you really want in a primary partnership? In the primary partnership, the person who you go to the most. What do you want if you have multiple relationships? If you don't want a primary partner, but maybe you're a solo polyamorous and you want many relationships, what do you want? What do you want to experience in each one of these relationships? All of this is about your vision, because if you don't know what you want, then you cannot possibly create it. You're going to be stumbling through life trying to figure it out. This doesn't work. Well, maybe this will work. Well, maybe that will work. When you have a very clear vision, you know where you can go. And when you get off track, you know how to course correct. You know how to come back, because what you're coming back to is your vision. What you're coming back to is what's anchoring you to make choices about yourself and your life moving forward. Your vision is, who are you as a lover? What does it look like for you to love another person? Your vision is, what does it look like? How do you want to express yourself as a sexual person, as an intimate person, as a wife, as a husband, as a girlfriend, as a partner? That's your vision. And too often, people just stumble around on autopilot, hoping for the best. And look, it makes sense, because in our life, we have not been taught how to do this. In our life, in Western society, we have very clear and rigid messages about what it looks like to be a husband or a wife. what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. And we also, most of us live lives where we have a lot of stuff going on. We have work, we have family, family may include children. There's a lot happening. You have hobbies, you need to pay the bills. Life is just lifing all around you. And it's really easy to get caught up in the everyday details of life and skip having a vision that actually inspires you and lights you up. Part of what makes it easier to move through all of the details of mundane life is having a vision, doing all those detailed things. Like, I don't want to pick up the dog shit, but I know that it's part of my vision to clean it up and have an amazing backyard and an amazing garden. So I'm going to pick up the dog poop, right? The same is true for how I want to relate to my lover, how I want to express my love, the kind of relationship that I'm committed to building with myself and I'm committed to building with them, so that we have a love that is rich and deep and delicious. This is your vision. Your vision is what guides you going forward. It's also how you make choices, whether it is what you're going to do for and with your partner, how you're going to take care of yourself, what you are creating day to day. And there are plenty of people who have never really been asked what they want. There are plenty of people who have been explicitly told that what they want doesn't matter. But how can we possibly create a loving relationship, passionate sex, deep intimacy, and the joy of life if we don't actually answer that question for ourselves? Because you can have all of the family stuff, you can have an amazing career, you can raise beautiful children, but you can still feel completely empty because you don't know what you want for yourself. So vision is where we start. Vision is the key to taking that step forward, because otherwise we're just trying a bunch of things on and hoping for the best. Vision actually gives us a guide for where we get to go in life, and certainly where you get to go in sex and in love. Okay, so number one, vision. Vision, 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 vision. Now, when you work with me, I will ask you repeatedly, what do you want? Because it gives us information about where we get to go together. So, what do you want in sex? Well, you want it to be fun and enjoyable, and you want to express yourself, and you want to have a great orgasm, right? Yeah. So, you want your body to feel good. Your body is the second key here, the second element here. Your body is the site for sex. Your body is the home that you live in. Your body is much more than just a carrying case for your brain. Your body is also the place where you experience pleasure and you generate pleasure. You can use your body for pleasure. It's where you express passion. Notice how I'm moving my body to express myself. This vehicle is what moves us forward in the world. So understanding your body is a key fundamental to being really good at sex, to having really good sex, to enjoying sex with another person or also with yourself, right? It's where we understand our own body, and then you understand the body of your partner. Now, the body is also a place where you hold on to things like pain and resentment and anger and trauma. So, our body can also be a place where we experience pain as well as experiencing pleasure. And that's why being in our body, being in somatic practices, in embodiment, being mindful, being in the moment, learning who we are in our body is so really important. It's so valuable, right? So that we can let go of the pain and suffering. We can learn to move through the pain and suffering, let go of resentment, and enter into pleasure in our body. So when we're mastering our body, we're healing the past, we're letting go of the past, and we're coming into full and total, powerful, loving habitation of this vessel that is our human body. So when we're mastering our desire, it's knowing our own body. It's you knowing your body, knowing all the nooks and crannies, knowing how your body reacts to different emotions, how your body feels in time and space, how you move your body for pleasure, how you experience pleasure in your system, in your body. It is breath, sound, touch, awareness. It's how you generate pleasure with your body. The more that you know about your body, the easier it is going to be to learn someone else's body. As you play with your body, as you move with your body, as you heal from the past in your body, the easier it is to be with someone else's body. Because I think most of us really want that experience of being with another person and feeling like we can just melt together. And that melting is not just about, it's not just about the physicality. It's also all of the emotional work that we do to soften and release. It's about letting go of being self-conscious of our body so that we're present in the moment instead of thinking about how does my body look? How does it feel? Am I to this or to that? Do I look okay from this direction? And instead, actually being so thoroughly present in the moment that the entire rest of the universe can slip away. And you can just be in the sensations. You can just be in the pleasure, being in your body. Okay, so once you develop this amazing relationship with your body and you're getting really good at understanding how your body works, how you want to use it for pleasure, what your body desires, what you want to experience in your sexual life, guess what? You get to use your voice to say it out loud. You get to get really good at communicating what you want, what you need, and what your limits are. So the third fundamental element here is your voice. Now, your voice happens in two main ways. One is what you say to the other person, what you say about what you want, what you need, what your limits are, what you like, what you love, what games you don't want to play. It's how you communicate your internal world to the external world. Okay. But the second piece is how you talk to yourself. It's your inner dialogue, because of all the people that you talk to yourself the most. So when I talk about your voice, okay, mastering your voice, what you get to get really good at is how you talk to yourself and how you talk to the people around you. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Your inner dialogue, your voice, your inner dialogue is your mindset, your beliefs. I mean, you can be really clear about what you want. You can be very in tune with your body. But if you believe inside your mind that you will never have the sex or the relationship that you desire, then that's game over. That's what's going to be present every time you think to yourself, I want to start dating. I want to reach out to my wife. I want to change the relationship with my husband. I want to have something different. That inner voice is going to be guiding you. So, when I talk about mastering your voice, I also mean mastering your mind. Really paying attention to the things that you think, the things that you say to yourself, the beliefs that you have been holding, maybe for decades. Maybe you didn't even know that you had made a decision at some very early age, and that locked in a belief about what you think you get to have and what you don't get to have. So, this fundamental element of your voice is so important because it's what is unconsciously shaping your choices, how you move forward, left or right, the decisions that you make. So when you get really masterful at the self-reflection work, the inner work of paying attention to your voice, you can change your mind just like that. You can change what you're thinking. You can actually be much more flexible inside of your own thoughts, inside of your own beliefs rather than rigid. The more flexible you are versus rigid, the easier it is for you to choose your experience in any given moment. That's the difference between getting defensive, getting angry, holding on to resentment, and actually being loving and kind and generous and trusting yourself and the people around you. Because it's going to be a lot easier for you to generate love and intimacy when you're being loving rather than when you're being resentful and guarded. And there may be a lot of good reasons for you to be resentful and guarded. But that's also an obstacle to you having the best sex, the most epic love, and the deepest intimacy of your life. So, what you say inside of your own mind is just as important as what you say to your partner. And what you say to your partner is what you want, what you need, and what you don't want, or what is a limit to you. So, it's how you communicate your desires. And how you communicate your desires is about using language and communication and passion that is generative, that adds, that is cooperative, that is contributory. In other words, communicating in such a way that inspires the other person to say, oh, yeah, that sounds like fun. I want some of that too. Using your voice is how you ask for support, how you ask for participation, how you invite someone to be with you. It's how you give feedback in a way that is loving, but also very clear. So you're really clear about what's working and what's not working. You're not being critical just for critical sake. You're not being an asshole just because you think that's the way that the best tough love that you can give. No, you're landing your message with the exact person that you're interacting with in a way that communicates how much you love and care for them and also generates more intimacy, right? You don't want to give feedback and tell somebody this isn't working and this sucks and you suck and then expect that they're going to say, okay, great, I'm so excited to be with you again. Chances are that's not going to happen. In order for you to have what you really want, the best sex of your life, the deepest intimacy of your life, epic love in your relationship, amazing, the best ever. I can't believe that this is happening. Oh my gosh, I want to write home about this. That kind of experience. If you get really good at your vision, your body, and your voice, you can change everything that isn't working right now. You can completely transform your life experience. That also means that you can take a 5 and turn it into a 10. And when you do this for yourself, when you start with yourself, everything around you changes. So if you've listened to everything I've said and you're like, oh, I wish my wife would do that. I wish my partner would do that. I really wish my husband would get on board. The truth of the matter is that if you start with yourself, the world around you changes because you are the one who's changing it. You change yourself, you learn yourself, you master yourself, you live your vision, and then you begin to shape and shift the world around you, the relationships, the interactions, the dynamics, the pleasure, the sex, the joy, the love. You begin to create what you desire. So, vision, body, and voice. And just about every single complaint that my clients have had over the last 15 years fits into one of these 3 categories. And of course, these 3 categories interact with each other and overlap. But these are the 3 basic categories. So whether you are experiencing challenge in arguing or miscommunication or getting defensive with your partner, if you are defaulting into people pleasing and asking permission and, getting really worried about what you think the other person wants to hear and hoping that you don't disappoint them in the process of you telling them who you are in life. Or you experience not having an orgasm and afraid that you'll never have an orgasm. It all fits into this work right here: vision, body, voice. I promise you, this is the magic. I am so committed to you being 100% in control, 100% in your power, and 100% in your responsibility for yourself. Because when you are 100% in yourself, in your power, controlling yourself, in your responsibility, then you are the one who creates the future that's ahead of you. And when you master your vision, your body, and your voice, you become the leader of your life. And that is ultimately the way to liberation. You create that for yourself, and you begin to create that in the world around you. First, in your relationships that are most immediate to you. And then you have so much power to go out into the world and create and do and make what you are here to do. That's the magic. When you anchor yourself in your own vision, body, and voice, you can create anything you want out in the world. And this is why you hire me and join Mastering Desire. I mean, imagine going from being totally afraid to being naked with your partner, alone by yourself for any length of time. And then after you do this work that I have just laid out for you, vision, body, and voice, you are doing multiple boudoir shoots every year. You have got a coffee table book of those photos. You are carrying it around to show your best friends, to show your new dates. You are bragging online on the internet about how sexy and delicious you are and how authentically joyful your smile is in every single one of those photos. And you see and you brag and you show them, look how happy I am. Not look at my butt or look at my boobs, but look how happy I am, even though your butt and your boobs are showing. This is why you do this work. This is why you join Mastering Desire. I mean, imagine that you have ended a previous marriage and it was, you might describe it as torture. And you really struggle with people pleasing. You really struggle with worrying so much about what somebody else is thinking and what they really want, and if you're going to disappoint them. And you try so hard to do whatever it is that they want that you keep leaving yourself aside. You live where your co-parent wants to live in the neighborhood that they want to live, and you go to the restaurants that you're just familiar with even though they're not really that exciting to you. And every relationship that you get in after this marriage, you keep repeating this pattern over and over again. This is why you hire me, so that you can interrupt those patterns, so that you can move and buy a house in the neighborhood that you want to with a swimming pool, and you can host the parties. And in fact, you can host the sex parties that you want to have, or at least a date. Okay. So that you actually start dating the people that are a good match for you, where instead of throwing yourself to the side and doing whatever they want, you actually assert yourself. You actually lead from your own desire, your own passion, your own curiosities in life, and you feel so free because your partner is so excited to know you, to understand you, to do the things that you really want to do. That's why you hire me. So you can get out of feeling shitty and get into feeling spectacular. Or you can be like my other clients who have been married for 33 years in their 50s and for decades only had sex once or twice a year. For decades, did not talk about their sex life at all. Thought in their mid 50s, well, maybe this is just the way it's going to be forever, and I just have to deal with it. I just have to live the rest of my life this way, unsatisfied. Until something happens, and it's like a frying pan to the face. It's a wake up call. And that wake up call says, we better pay attention to our lives because our lives are short and we don't know how much time we're going to have. And what do? They hire me. And now, just after a few months of working together on this stuff that I just told you about, they're having the best sex and the best communication of their life. They've had more sex in the last 6 months than they have had in the previous 30 years. Did you hear that? They're having more sex in the last 6 months than in the previous 30 years. They're going to nudist beaches. They're going on couples cruises. They are sleeping outside naked under the trees in their own backyard. They have renovated their bathroom so that they have this giganto bathtub for the two of them to be in. That could be you too, or some version of it for you in your life. But just imagine going from feeling like you have to resign yourself to never having sex ever again or never feeling passionate intimacy in your life again and having a complete 180-degree turnaround. That you and your partner are tugging at each other's clothes every single night, committed to being both the big spoon and the little spoon in life, where your partner is just like so passionate that you have all of the pleasure that you desire and is willing to do anything and everything to make that happen for you. That's what's possible when you do this work. Vision, body, voice. It sounds really simple, and in a lot of ways, it's completely simple, and it takes a little bit of work. And that's why you hire me, because I hold your hand through the entire process, and I coach you exactly where you are based on what you need, based on what you desire, based on my 15 plus years of experience in this work, all of the years of my own sexual and intimate journeys that I've had in kink, BDSM, in multiple partnerships at once, in monogamy. You can bring anything to me and I can support you with it. Because it's not about me telling you what's right or wrong and me telling you what I think that you should do. It's actually me helping you find your way forward, what works for you, and elevating that and turning up the volume on you being the most authentic, loving version of you. That's what we do here. That's why you should hire me.